scary. It's particularly scary when you have 9 countries or so with the nuclear weapons and people working on it, something even more lit. We haven't dealt with this. We don't know what's going to happen.
Over the past few years, there's really been one repeating news story when we look at Warren Buffett, that Berkshire's cash position keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Buffett finally gave us a little insight into what he's been thinking about the stock market recently, sitting down for 30 minutes with Becky Quick during the Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting. And in this interview, he spoke about why he's been building the cash pile up, whether he plans to deploy it, and also whether he sees a market crash coming in the year ahead. So in this video, I want to show you guys all the important clips you need to hear from the man himself, and I'll break down exactly what he's been saying. Also, very quickly, shout out to everybody who came up and said hello over the course of the Berkshire weekend. It was really great to see you all. And also massive, massive thank you to all who came to the launch party for the New Money Strategy. Big news, as of today, the book is officially out. So check out the links in the description or the pinned comment if you would like to learn the Warren Buffett strategy for yourself. And thanks to all of you who have supported it thus far. Okay, back to Buffett. And the first question is, why on earth is he holding $380 billion worth of cash?
There's a lot of cash on hand, and you're still active in managing the portfolio too and looking at stocks. You're looking around and you don't see a lot that you want to invest in.
Oh, well, then we don't do anything. Of the 60 years I've been in the business, there's probably 5 of them have been really juicy, And I think it was Tom Watson Sr. of IBM. They asked him the reason why IBM had been so successful or something like that. And he said, I'm smart at spots, and I stay around those spots. And that's the whole thing.
This was a really interesting clip from Buffett, and it highlights his strategy. He is not a trader. He is not an investor that's going to make 20 investments per year. His secret has always been to wait. And that's what he's doing this time around. He noted in that clip that there have only really been 5 exceptionally juicy years in his career where he was overwhelmed with opportunities. So they don't come up very often. And when they don't, he's much more inclined to have his watch list firmly within his circle of competence and just wait, as opposed to sinking money into the market because he feels like his cash pile is getting too big.
It isn't our ideal surrounding area or environment, I should say, in terms of deploying cash for Berkshire. But we can pick our spots and nobody can tell us what to do exactly. And so sometimes we're doing nothing. But other times we get quite active.
As Warren admits in that clip, right now it isn't the ideal environment for his type of investing, and that leads him to be fairly inactive. And that's fair enough. When you look to the ways that Buffett values the stock market, they all scream that the market is really expensive. Take the Shiller PE value, for example. I've spoken about this one a fair bit recently. This is like a big price to earnings ratio for the S&P 500. So the higher the number rises, the higher multiple of earnings investors are willing to pay to own the market. So in normal conditions, it's around 18 to 20, right? 18 to 20 times the S&P 500's earnings as a price. Well, I was actually talking to one of the guys I caught up with in Omaha this year, Ben, and he was showing me that right now the Shiller PE is at the second highest point it's ever been in history behind the dot-com boom. And it's now actually very close to passing that peak. Another indicator Buffett always looks at is called the Wilshire GDP, which compares the market cap of the Wilshire 5000, which is a total market index, with the GDP of the United States. So it compares how much investors are valuing companies versus how much the economy is actually producing. Now, for this metric, when it gets past 120 to 140%, investors start worrying. They worry a lot that the market is getting really overheated. And today, well, we sit at a number around 230%. We have never seen this metric so high, ever. So with the market looking as expensive as it was before the dot-com crash, Buffett just isn't finding opportunities to invest.
What is it when you look around, it's just prices are too high at this point? I would imagine Greg said this from the stage too, there are businesses that you like, just not these prices.
And I would say I understand fewer of the businesses as a percentage of the whole than I did 10 years ago. I have not learned new industries for some years, so I don't kid myself on that. I'm not going to learn them. I'm not going to have an edge on a whole bunch of younger people that have actually grown up with them, used the product, but you don't have to understand too many if they're like Apple.
And that's always been Buffett's philosophy. Yes, the market is hot, and no, he's not really finding places to put his money, but one thing he absolutely will not do is drift outside his core competencies to chase returns, as a lot of people are doing at the moment. I mean, Buffett acknowledges here that the AI craze we're seeing now, is well outside his own circle of competence. But I would also argue it's outside most people's circle of competence too. At the end of the day, it's a very new industry. There's no clear leader at the present time, and there isn't a really good understanding of how valuable this technology will be to these big tech businesses in 5 to 10 years' time. I'm sure it will be valuable, but at this stage, it's really anyone's guess as to what the next decade looks like and who comes out on top. And that brings us back to Buffett's rule number 1 of investing, which is don't lose money. And if you're not super confident in the outcome, it's okay to put it on the too hard pile and just move on. But that is the polar opposite behavior to what we're seeing in the stock market at the moment. Rationality seems to have been left at the door. And in the interview, Buffett really called this out.
Just looking at the macro stock market environment, what does this feel like to you? Does it feel expensive? Does it feel like there are opportunities in some places?
Well, it feels like, I've compared the markets to a church with a casino attached. And people can move between the church and casino. And I would say there are more people in the church and more people in the casino. But the casino's gotten very attractive to people. If you're buying one-day options or selling them, that's not investing, it's not speculating, it's gambling, just totally. There's nobody that can explain why they're buying an option for one day. And the quantity of those things is just incredible. So we've never had people in a more gambling mood than now. But that doesn't mean that investing is terrible. It does mean that prices for an awful lot of things will look very silly.
This is very true. There, Buffett talks about the increase in volume of short-term options. Now, stock options, they are financial products where you can bet on the direction of a stock. For example, if you buy a call option with a strike of 20, you're betting the share price will rise above $20 by the option's expiry date. And if you buy a put option with a strike of 20, you're betting that the share price will fall below $20 by the expiry. Now, options can have expiry dates that go out a month or even years. But Buffett is saying that the volume of options that expire in 1 day or less is skyrocketing. And this can only be gambling because obviously nobody knows which way a stock will go in the period of, say, a few hours. And here's some of the data on that to back up what Warren said. As you can see in 2018, the volume of options with expiry dates shorter than 1 week was way less than that of longer term options. But fast forward to 2026, and that trend has completely reversed. Now, short-term options are the name of the game, with more trading volume in contracts expiring within a week than more than a week. And particularly when you look at people trading the index or ETFs, so betting on the market itself as opposed to betting on a certain stock. It's honestly incredible, and this has been one of the biggest recurring themes of what Buffett has said over the past few years, that the stock market is turning more and more into a casino. But does that mean that it's destined to fail? We've got gamblers running rampant, we've got stretched valuations, the stock market looks as expensive as the dot-com era, so does Buffett see it cracking?
You laid it out yourself. In the 60 years you've been doing this in the business, you've had maybe 5 juicy years. I guess that means you're always looking for the next juicy year. What do you think it would take to make a juicy year or a juicy opportunity for you?
It's a phone call, and in some cases, we bought a business last year. It wasn't big enough to be meaningful, but we got a letter.
But the best opportunities have probably come when the macro environment leads to
panic.
That's the most likely.
Right. Well, the most likely time to buy things is when nobody else will answer their phones.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is, do you see the circumstances building up anywhere that could lead to a time like that again? Is any sort of panic in the market?
Sure.
Where do you see them?
Well, if you saw them, they wouldn't happen. You don't worry about what people are talking about can happen. It's something that comes out of the blue. But something will come out of the blue. A nuclear bomb can come out of the blue. It was the Archduke getting shot, in 1914 or something like that for World War I. And it's just take everything in life. If it's something people are talking about and thinking about, it's not going to happen. But there are things that can happen out of the blue.
And this is probably the biggest thing people get wrong about Warren Buffett. The news articles will always say, Berkshire builds up $380 billion of cash, and then they'll talk about Buffett preparing for a stock market crash. But what's interesting is that from his 60 years at the helm of Berkshire and his 84 years in the market, yes, he's 95 and he bought his first stock at age 11. And in that time, the one thing that Buffett has learned is that you can never anticipate a crash. There are situations and valuations where stocks are more likely to underperform than outperform, but to be able to predict when the market falls like a brick, it's impossible. And as he notes, if people are already talking about it, it isn't that.
We don't know what can happen tomorrow. I don't like to talk that way to people, whether it's you or anybody else. I mean, whether it does you a lot of good to worry about that, I don't think it does do any good to worry about it. It's good to be cognizant of it, but the worrying about it is terrible. I don't like to cause that belief with people. I don't like to go around tell them the end is coming, or something like that.
So with that said, what do we as value investors do at a time like this? Well, there are really two things we need to remember to keep investing like the GOAT. Number one is that we need to keep investing bottom up. And that means we stay within our circle of competence, we build our own unique watch list of businesses, and then we assess them for moat, for trustworthy management, and of course, we check the valuation. 3 steps, which I talk about in that book. But from there is another thing we need at a time like this, and that is, of course, patience. Charlie Munger used to say, we don't make money when we buy, we don't make money when we sell, we make money while we wait. The difference between mediocre investors and exceptional investors is always their temperament when market conditions get sketchy. When they get overvalued, can they hold their nerve and not throw all their cash into horrifically speculative and overvalued stocks? And then on the flip side, when the markets do come down, can they keep on top of their emotions and invest with confidence, as Buffett has done over the past 60 years at Berkshire? That's what it really comes down to. And if that sounds like the type of thing you want to learn more about, I would really appreciate it if you guys checked out my book, The New Money Strategy. Yeah, it's out now, which is crazy. So please, look for it in bookstores. It'll be in airports. And if you see it or if you've bought it, I would absolutely love it if you sent me a picture of you with your book. Tag me over on Instagram at new.money.official or send it through to hello@newmoney.contact. And I'll try to feature some of your photos in upcoming videos. But again, guys, thank you so much for your support with the book. It really does mean the world to me. If you want to order it, if you haven't done so already, links to order it down in the description and the pinned comment. I would absolutely love it if you checked it out. This book is 2 years in the making. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into making this. So I'm really happy that it is now out. But with that said, thanks very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you all, and I'll see you all in the next video.